All right, then. Okay, also a few words to introduce Ms. Kuwahara. She's now a research fellow at the Japan Institute of International Affairs. Her research interests include public diplomacy, political warfare, soft power, sharp power, and of course, disinformation campaigns, among other things. Today, the topic of her presentation is defending democracies from disinformation threats. She will share her views on Japan's disinformation situation and potential areas of collaboration between Taiwan and Japan. I will give the floor now to Ms. Kuwahara. Do you need me to share the presentation for you, or can you share your screen?
Hi, Jeff. I'm Kyoko Kuwahara, and thank you so much for inviting me to this such a great event today. And I would like you to share my slide instead of me. Is that okay for you? Thank you. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Loud and clear.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm Kyoko Kuwahara, a research fellow at the Japan Institute of International Affairs. And today I'm going to talk about the disinformation campaigns in order to defend democracies from disinformation threats, and also some disinformation cases in Japan, and as well as a future cooperation, international cooperation, as well as Taiwan-Japan cooperation. Next slide, please. So with the rapid progress of communication technology, democracy worldwide is now facing great challenges of disinformation threats, because it could polarize public opinion and endanger people's lives and political stability. As you can see, the agenda setting process model on this slide, policy agenda is closely related to public agenda, which is affected by media agenda, as well as external communication and issues or events. So this information could have a negative impact on this democratic agenda setting process. Next slide, please. So why has this information gathering attention recently? Russia's campaign are well known, including its intervention in Crimea and Donbass in 2014, and US presidential election in 2016. Today, however, this information is widely recognized as a serious threat to a very foundation of democracy, with the penetration of social media and the spread of COVID-19, as well as Russia's invasion in Ukraine. Especially amid the pandemic, disinformation about the virus and vaccines have flooded all over the world, and disinformation threats has become acknowledged globally. Even US President Biden said platformers such as Facebook killing people on their services. Next slide, please. So talking about Japan, Chinese interference is well recognized in Japan, whose aim is to foster positive views of China in Japan, and more strategically, to weaken the US-Japan alliance. On the other hand, there are little electoral or other disinformation campaign being conducted in Japan from overseas. Also, foreign interference, including Chinese influence operations in Japan, have had more limited success than in other democracies. There are many false rumors during natural disasters in Japan. For instance, the 2011 Great East Japan earthquake, as you all may know, and the 2016 Kumamoto earthquake prompted the spread of false rumors in Japan. But these were not the disinformation campaigns conducted by other countries. All arose domestically, which were not spread for political or economic gain. Regarding the Great East Japan earthquake in 2011, various false rumors were spread online, including hazardous materials would fall from the sky with the rain, for instance, because of the fire at the Cosmo oil refinery in Chiba. Also, regarding the Kumamoto earthquake in 2016, there was a famous disinformation that saying that a lion escaped from the zoo because of the quake. As you can see, the actual tweet in the slide. So in Japan, nearly all misinformation or disinformation spreading during disasters arises domestically, which will not spread for political economic gain. Various reasons can be considered for Japan's unique disinformation environment and situations. It is said that Japan has historically been isolated from foreign migration and investments, and there are cultural, linguistic, and economic separation from other countries. It is sometimes called Galapagos syndrome. It is also true that there are little foreign media presence in Japan. One of the main reasons is that there are 5 Japanese media conglomerates or companies dominating Japan's media environments. Thus, the information space is very much limited, leaving little room for foreign interference. So considering these reasons, disinformation countermeasures are very much limited in Japan. Ministry of Internal Affairs and Communications could be the only ministry which has tackled disinformation countermeasures, but only for fake news or false rumors spread domestically. Also, the strategic communications efforts has been conducted by MOD, Ministry of Defense, include tackling disinformation campaigns from overseas, but their activities seem to be limited to the MOD itself at this moment. So next slide, please. Oh, sorry, would you go back to the former slide? Yes, please, thank you. So however, situation that Japan has less experience of foreign disinformation campaigns may change in coming years. For instance, as AI, translation or other technologies improve in accuracy, their barriers in Japan could be broken. And disinformation campaign, of course, could present serious threats to Japan as well. There is a real possibility of Taiwan Strait contingency, and there is growing concerns among Japanese elites and media. It is said that in the event, a great deal of China's disinformation could be spread in Japan as well. So how can we fight against disinformation, and what is the future Japan-Taiwan cooperation? It is important for every country and region to strengthen its own cross-ministerial efforts, as well as governmental communication strategies, expanding fact-checking services and functions, facilitating public-private cooperation involving private organization, media, and platformers, and educating children, its people, to improve media literacy or information literacy for a capacity building. At the same time, countermeasures should be balanced with free speech and journalism in promoting disinformation countermeasures. For instance, Brazil and Hungary have made attempts to crack down on disinformation through legislation such as anti-fake news laws as part of their efforts to combat COVID-19. However, some international NGOs has criticized these governments for arbitrarily restricting citizens' freedom of expression. So freedom of expression must be secured and should not be undermined. Any regulations by governments and discussion should be pursued. Lastly, for all democracies, it is necessary to cooperate with like-minded countries and regions sharing the same values, challenges, and experiences. Facilitating information security cooperation or building a counter-disinformation framework with other democracies could be considered for one of the forms of international cooperation. It could be pursued with Quad framework or ASEAN countries. Japan has little experience and insufficient countermeasures against disinformation, which means that it has much to learn from other countries and democracies. As for cooperation with Taiwan, lastly, Japan has recognized that the importance of peace and stability across the Taiwan Strait, highlighting security cooperation with the international international society amid China's rise. Effective collaboration and cooperation in this in other area would strengthen each national security for Japan and for both Japan and Taiwan. Taiwan and Japan has many things in common, and cooperation holds great potential for both. So thank you so much for your attention. Any thoughts and comments are welcome during following discussion. Now let's go back to Jeff. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Kuwahara-san.